Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mita Sukiwantu. I'm Aliana. Welcome to Ti-Ratana TRV Friday Sutta discussion. I'm Aliana and welcome to TRV Friday Sutta discussion by Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima. This is the day 105 of the Sutta discussion class. Tonight is the third class of the Dhajagga Sutta with topic Buddha's Great Qualities, number 1 to 4. Dhajagga Sutta is the 10th sutta from the total of 10 sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. In previous classes, Bhante has discussed about Manggala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalowada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabbasava Sutta, Pattakama Sutta, Pattasma Samajivi Sutta, and Alavaka Sutta, which Bhante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Amapadana Clan Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous 104 classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom where we can engage directly with Bhante, can contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana's Clan's Facebook Messenger or can contact the Vihara directly through WhatsApp. Now, please allow me to introduce about our speaker. Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Raja Vidyalaya University in Thailand. He was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, or CSRS, at University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the Universities of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada from year 2012 to 2016. Bhante is currently the Senior Advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussions, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma works can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, or we can also follow Bhante at Patisota Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante and as always, thank you very much for the guiding and teaching.
Thank you, Aliana, for the introduction once again. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back to another episode of our Friday TR Sutta discussion. And before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Hey, so today we have Ariana, Margaret, Kim, Melinda, Leon, Kim Neo, Yu On Lee, Nai Cheng. Good to see you back. Kelvin, Cindy, TC Lim, Jessica, Katie, someone, iPhone, Rolly Ang, Corina, Lim, Jacqueline Chan, and Sumita, probably some others, probably a couple of others might join as we proceed the class. So today, as Aliana exactly mentioned, it's day 105, and we are moving on to the Buddha's qualities section today. Now we already understood that no deva could help out other devas actually. Can you remember those names of devas? We were talking about Deva Sakka, Indra, and we also talk about then Pajapati Deva, also Varuna Deva and Isana Deva. So none of these devas could exactly help them. They were kind of helpful for them, but still they had a certain residual amount of leftover amount of fear horripilation, butterflies, goosebumps, and whatever, those stress. They were kind of, I would say, kind of relief for other devas, but still they had fear and all those things. So therefore, we cannot say that by remembering, by looking at the top of those devas' flag, did not help other devas. It helped a little bit, but it did not help their fear to go away completely. So that's why they approached the Buddha. Let's take a look at the text at this point. Dhajagga Sutta. In Dhajagga, Agga means the top. Dhaja means flat or standard. So we have done up until the place where Sakka cannot help others. So also other deva, Pajapati, Varuna, Isana, because the issue that Sakka and all these devas were having was that they have not overcome Loga, Dosa, and Moha. Actually, here it is mentioned in different ways. Sakka has not, Sakka and other those higher devas, they have not overcome Raga, Dosa, and Moha. When it comes to understanding, measuring out the capacity of somebody else who can help us with his or her presence, with his or her her being the object of the recollection. At that point, we take raga, which is a part of the law. Raga is a part of the one aspect of the law. Because I have greed, I'm going to have lust for somebody. Because someone has loba, that person is going to have lust. Even that is a good lust or bad lust. There are different types of lust, right? Good lust, bad lust. Right? You call that there is a bad lust going with a person, you call that man as a womanizer. When there is a woman who has the bad lust going on, nobody calls him manizer. Nobody says like that. But should be, you're going to look at when the boundary is going to be exceeded, we're going to call that. I think you are going through certain problems with your lust. Be that good lust, bad lust, depending on the level of your lust, you are going to be a help for somebody else, mental support. Right? That's why only raga part was taken out from the lower. The greed is the main. So why these devas cannot help others is that completely to the level that they can overcome fear, what you call horripilation and all that, is because they have not overcome. And then the Buddha is saying a method for devas to overcome their fears and all that. Okay, this is going to be number 10. Okay, so we are going to study up until, say, Sugatu part. But I think for, keeping up with the time, I would like to ask someone to read the whole thing. So then for this week, I'm going to pick up 4 great qualities because there are 9 until Arahang is number 1, Samma Sambuddhu number 2, Vijjacharana 3, Sugata. So these are the 4 great qualities which we will be studying today. And for the next week, we're going to be picking up the rest of it, hopefully. Okay, so anybody would like to read this paragraph? You can show your virtual hand. Okay, yes, Kim, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Ahang ko bikavi evang vadami sachetum hakang bikavi aranya gatanang va Rukka Mula Gatanang, Va Sunagara Gatanang, Va Upajaya Bayang, Va Chambitatang, Va Loma Hamsova, Mam Eva Tasmin Samaya, Anusarayata, Itipiso Bhagawa Arahang Sama Sambuddho, Vichacharana Sampano, Sukato Lokavidu. Anuttara Purasa Dhamma Sarati, Sata Dewa Manusang, Buddha Bhagavati. Mamang hi vo vikavi, Anusaratang Yam Bhava Visati, Bayang Va Chambi Tatang, Va Roma Hamso Va So Pahi I Sati.
Okay, but there were certain areas. Would you like to read this part again? Anuttaru, up until here.
Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati, Sata Dewa Manusanang, Bodo Bhagavati.
Okay, I think you were a little bit fast. That's why you were not able to read it well before. Now it's okay. Yeah, good, good. All right. I think one thing that you may have noticed in this reading was that this va. Okay, va. Actually, when it is va, we have to stop. Let me show you. Aham chakho bhikkhave evam vada. Sache tumhakam bhikkhave aranya gatanam va. Pause for a moment. Rukkha mula gatanam va. Sunyagara gatanam va. Uppajjaya bhayang va. Chambhitattang va. Lomahansu va. Why we have to stop at va? Because it's a preposition. Va means O, O-R, O. So, because when we talk in English, when there is O, we can actually lay emphasis on that. O, this and O, and kind of we make a pause every before the at the end of every preposition, normal, just to lay emphasis, highlight. Mameva tasmin samaye anusareyat. This part is very popular, but we are going to read that too. Itipi so bhagava arahan samma sambuddho vijacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manussa buddho bhagavati mamang hi vo bhikkhave anussaratam yang bhavisati bhayang va chambhitattang va lomahansu va so paisati. Now, the meaning is that now the Buddha was patiently listening to these devas, and then now he knows that devas need his support. So he's now telling them, okay, I also will tell you a strategy. How are you going to get started this? Aham chako bhikkhave evam vada. I'm going to also tell you a way, a method this way. Sache, what does sache mean?
If.
Sache, if. Sache tumhakam bhikkhave. You who has gone to the Aranya Gatana. Aranya means? Aranya means?
Forest.
Forest. Let's say if you happen to be in the forest. Rukkha mula gatana. Or if you happen to be in front of or at the foot of a tree. Rukkha mula. Foot. Mula means foot of the tree. Or if you happen to be in an empty place, sunyagara gatana. What is this empty place? Now, has anybody of you noticed something interesting here? Now, Buddha is not talking to devas now at this point. He's talking to monks at this point. Okay? So devas left already. They are not in the scene now. Now Buddha is talking to monks. But the teachings are implied onto the devas as well. The devas also need this support. Otherwise, what is the purpose of them coming to see the Buddha? Right? So, what is an empty place? Sunyagara Gara means house or a place. Sunyagara means empty place. Are you in an empty place now? No. My house is fully furnished. It's not an unfurnished house. My room also, a lot of stuff hanging on the wall. Is it that idea? Is it something which is depending on the things that are hanging, or maybe in the house, or maybe in the room? Sunyagara means who is empty here? Not many people with you at the moment. Right? So you are in a room. You are in a private room. So you are, otherwise you can't. Maybe you can't concentrate enough. Right? Because today you are learning how to overcome fear. So you have to know it. Fear, horripilation, these are very important things in our life. So Sunyagara means an empty place. Empty place means there are no people with you at that point. So let's say a monk is to go to a forest, or maybe go to a tree, nearby a tree, or being in a place which we call as Sunyagara. Mostly Sunyagara seems to be a city temple place, a place where a monk is living in a city temple, because forest, definitely it's not an Sunyagara at that point, even though we take it as no people. That's why Buddha says Aranya is a different place, forest. Then Rukkamula is another place. Then Sunyagara should be a place that is well built for one's own use. What could be a good Sunyagara in today's world for a monk, or even for a lay person? Kuti, yeah? Kuti. K-U-T-I. They make kutis, 1, 2, 3, 4, with a good gap between each kuti, and there is nobody in the kuti. That's a good Sunyagara. Okay, so now if Buddha is talking to monks, if you happen to be in the forest, or maybe if you are staying at the foot of a tree, or maybe if you are in an empty place, then Uppajjaya Bhayangva, if you are going to encounter, face Bhayangva, fear, or Chambitatta. Chambitatta means, you can see over here, Chambitatta means terror. Or Lomahansova, horripilation, or I would say a butterfly, a goosebump, anything. Mameva tasmin samaye, during that period, during that time, Mameva means only me. You can say, you should recollect me. Mama eva means myself, the Buddha. Tasmin same anusareya, recollect. You need to recollect about me. How to recollect about me? Buddha. Is it the way how we are supposed to? Is this the way how the Buddha asks us to recollect him? Buddha, please come, help me. Is that the way? Are we supposed to think? No, he says, my quality is not about me. My qualities, a good understanding about my qualities will help you relieve your problems. So if you think that by even thinking about the Buddha, your fear has still not gone away, now this is the problem. You only thought about his name. Right? You do that in your normal household. When something happens to you, you're calling someone's name, right? Please come here, help me out, right? But only if they can hear about it, otherwise they can't hear. But in case of the Buddha, he says, my qualities. Itipiso, you have to recollect this way about me, not my name. Itipiso, this Buddha is this kind of a person. What kind of a person is the Buddha? He has 9 great qualities. This Buddha has 9 great qualities. First quality is Araham. Second is Samma Sambuddha. Third is Vichacharana Samma. Fourth is Sugata. Fifth is Lokavid. 6 is Anuttaro Purisadam Sarati. 7th is Sattha Deva Manus. 8 is Buddho. 9th is Bhagavan. Now, if you think that you only thought about the name of the Buddha, then you only thought about one great quality, right? But you don't know what the Buddha stands for, right? Buddha is Buddha, right? If we question from somebody, what do you think about who the Buddha is? Buddha is Buddha, right? It's a Buddha statue, that's it. And you don't get the blessings because you don't know who he is. So then he says, Mamang hivo bhikkhave anusarta. When you, someone who is recollecting about my 9 great qualities, yang bhavisyati bhayangva chambitattanvalu. If there prevails any fear, terror, or percolation, butterfly, goosebump, those kind of things should go away. You will be safe and secure. Okay. So this is what the Buddha says. No, Buddha is asking us to think about, recollect about his great qualities. Now, before we jump onto these great qualities, we have to think about certain things over here. Is there anybody who is very new to this teaching? Who is new to this statement, Itipiso Bhagavaraha? Oh, you all know this statement for many, many years, many, many decades. I think most of you know, right? Maybe all of you should know. Otherwise, why you come for a Sutta study, without knowing the basic ABC of Buddhism? You can't go to the Sutta study. It's a very, very basic, very, very fundamental thing. You go to a vihara for a blessing, the monk is definitely chanting this. Right? Definitely he is chanting. And let's say you go for a Buddha puja, Bodhi puja, then definitely he or she is going to chant, and you are also chanting. And this could be the first chanting of your chanting book, right? If you see or look at your chanting book, you can see that this is the first area of the chanting. So it is very, normal and I would say general kind of thing. But the problem is the meaning. Huh? Let's see whether you have come to that level of understanding so that your fear will go away. In order for you to understand these 9 great qualities, where I'm going to pick up only 4, I'm going to share with you a certain blog post. I think that is better because some of you might not know a lot of Pali. So I'm going to share with you this blog post. So if you have time, maybe even later, you can take a look for it. This blog post. Okay, it's in the chat. If you can go down to this blog post, you will see I have listed out the 9 great qualities, Arahant, Samma, Sambuddha, and all that. And then can you go to the Arahant part? Accomplish. Arahant. Were you able to go there? For those who are joining from a mobile phone, I don't know how you're going to look at this blog post, right? Should be a difficult task for all of you. In that case, better to open this from a desktop or a laptop. Okay. So, Arahant. What is Arahant? Oh, before that, let me tell you. What do you think? Buddha only had 9 great qualities? He must have a lot of good qualities. Huh? Why it is only 9?
Main one.
These are the most important great
One.
qualities. Right? So, everything else is embedded inside. They are not anywhere else. They are within the 9 great qualities. First one is Arahant. What is Arahant? Is Arahant a common name to all the Arahants? Or is Arahant is only a quality that is specific to the Buddha?
No.
Is Arahant a common quality to all the Arahants, including Buddha, Pacceka Buddha? Or is Arahant very specific to talk about the first great quality of the Sammasam? Both work, both are true. Even
Common.
on one way it is common. When everybody is becoming enlightened, even when one day when you become enlightened, you are coming to this Arahant nature. You are going to be an Arahant. So you are basically eradicating the defilements. But when it comes to the Buddha's state of Arahant, he displays certain other areas of this quality.
Even in secret, Bhante, he doesn't do any.
Yeah, we'll discuss all that. So his Arahant, state of his Arahant level is far beyond than a normal Arahant person. So we are going to learn that today. Let's go and see the what you call the blog post here. The Buddha is Arahant because this is one meaning. He distances oneself from mental defilement, kilesa, araka. Now this is also very general to all the Arahants. And this is another meaning, has defeated the enemy, particularly the mental defilement. He is thus accomplished. Now we normally call our defilements, akusalas, to be our enemies, right? But we don't actually call them actual enemies, right? Because we are not supposed to make enemies in our life, isn't it? So we are not supposed to make enemies in our life. So if we have akusalas coming up all the time, depending on our practice, then how are we going to approach our akusala, unwholesome states? There should be a way to approach them. Sometimes some akusalas are already sleeping. Some akusalas are full blown. Isn't it? Now, where is your anger? Where is your anger now? Where is your lust now? Where is your other small, minor, major akusala states at the moment? Where are they now? Are they somewhere, or what is happening to them? What's going on with them? Akusala states? They are sleeping, right? They are sleeping now. But can we wake them up? Yeah, it can. It has the possibility of being up anytime. What do they need to wake up? Conditions should come out. Then they will wake up. Normally in some cultures they say, never let the sleeping snakes wake up, They say, never let the sleeping snakes wake up. Let them sleep, They are sleeping already. In the same way, we are not going to let the sleeping snakes wake up. Let's let them sleep permanently. But the problem is, even we do it in that way just to make them sleep, but there is a possibility of them being able to come up, wake up anytime. Because different conditions can do different things to our defilements. So our akusalas, most of the akusalas, I would say major akusalas, are at the moment sleeping. So the way how akusalas are working in our life as unenlightened people, say for instance, they are working in 3 ways. One is anusaya. Anusaya means they are sleeping. Then we have anusaya. Then what are the other levels of akusalas? Anusaya. There are 3 types of stages. Anusaya, then vitikka, then pariyutta. Right? Those are 3 stages of akusalas. There is one area where we understand the akusalas are sleeping. Then there is a place where our akusala are coming to a little bit of extent. Then after a certain time, if more conditions are coming to us, if we don't know how to take care of us, then those akusalas are taking us over. Right? This is what is happening. But what is happening to a Buddha, Arahant? So they have completely overcome them. Right? This is one characteristic of Arahant. Then has demolished every spoke arrow of the rebirth wheel and is therefore deserving of receiving gift. If samsara is a wheel which has spokes, there should be many spokes, huh? Just like so. The diameter of the wheel has been permanently cut off. And then what has happened? Every spoke is going to be demolished because there is no diameter, and the wheel has no circumference, and the functioning of the wheel is not going to work. This is also the reason why we understand from the Dhammacakka. You know the Dhammacakka, the Buddhist Dhammacakka. I think I already shared with you a long time ago. Spokes should not come out of the Dhammacakka. Just now in today's world, the Dhammacakka spokes have come out. So how to, how to turn this Dhammacakka? The wheel should not have spokes come out, right? So in the same way, samsara is also a wheel, but that Dhammacakka's wheel is a different type of wheel. We call it spreading of the Dhamma to the whole universe. That is a different type of wheel. But normally we say samsara is a wheel. It has spokes. Right? So the Buddha has cut off all the spokes, including other arahants too. But the Buddha's way of cutting all these spokes is very unique, the way how he did that. He took a lot of time, many lifetimes, more than billions, trillions of lifetimes to do that work. He did not want to become an arahant. He always wanted to become a Samma Sambuddha. Right? That's what makes him special, unique than the other normal arahants. In our temple cultures, people don't want to become a Samma Sambuddha. They all want to hit the shortest possible attainment, become an arahant. I just do my stuff. Let me meditate myself. If somebody's asked, why don't you want to become a no, that's a big task. But only the Mahayana devotees, they want to become a bodhisattva and then become a Samma Sambuddha. Why is that? It is a wrong perception, In order to become a bodhisattva, we should have the bodhicitta. At the same time, we want to help out other people. That's why we see sometimes the mindset of a Mahayana devotee and a Theravada devotee has a little bit difference. Theravada devotees are mostly working on one's own self-centered spiritual path. There are pros and cons. The Mahayana devotee, though he or she does not know about the Samma Sambuddhahood, but they have a wider way of looking at life, compassion and wisdom. So we want to put these two together actually. So next time if somebody asks you, you are trying to become an arahant, but yes, I also want to become a bodhisattva, become a Samma Sambuddha. That is no harm to say like that. Because when you become a Samma Sambuddha, you are going to help out many beings. It's such a very enormous idea.
Bhante,
Yeah.
Bhante, I thought that if you want to become a Buddha, you got to make a vow in front of a living Buddha.
No, that happens just before you are going to become a Buddha. Life before the Buddha. But before that, Normally there are two types of precision statement. One is that one Buddha has to tell you, and then again another Buddha has to give a niyata vyakara, precise statement. But who knows, we were already given that statement. Can you say that you were not given that statement from a previous Buddha? We never know. We don't know about it. We only know the historical Buddha's story. There's Maitreya Buddha. No, I mean, what is the problem of having a wish to become a Samma? Is it harmful? Is it bad? I think there's no harm. That will really help us become very altruistic people, help out other people. When you become a Bodhisattva, because the way how Mahayana people look at Bodhisattva and the early Buddhist texts look at Bodhisattva, a little bit different. In Mahayana, they say everybody is a Bodhisattva, isn't it? But in early Buddhist texts, especially Theravada, not early Buddhist text, Theravada text like Buddha Vansa, where they say that if you want to become a Samma Sambuddha, you cannot be a female, you must be a man, and all that. We call them Theravada, Buddha Vansa, part of the Buddha Nikaya. But you don't see that from the early text, Digha Majjhima Samyutta Anguttara text. So in the Theravada analysis, they make it a very difficult task. They say you can't be a Samma Sambuddha normally. You have to suffer a lot. You have to go through lots of pain. We don't know. I mean, maybe there are issues, but normally, what is the problem? Someone having a thought to become a Samma Sambuddha, it's not bad. I think we should encourage those beings. So when we encourage those beings, rather than they self-claim that I'm a Buddha, I want to become a Bodhisattva. At least I want to apply Bodhisattva qualities into my life. I will become a better person in that thinking. So for any person, there's no problem to become a Bodhisattva. But if you only hit up for the Arahanthood, you might sometimes become a very lonely meditator. You are trying to, maybe your self-centered and might be a bit more at that. So try to see all these options. So because of that, the Samma Sambuddha is deserving all the respect in terms of giving. And this is very important. One very important meaning of Arahant is that Samma Sambuddhas are not making akusala even secretly. I think that is a very important remark about the Arahant quality. How do we look at us? Are we making akusalas secretly, in secret? Are we? Are we? Honestly speaking, we are not supposed to, but still akusalas can happen.
Sometimes,
What?
sometimes Bhante, in mind.
Sometimes it can happen. It's not your problem. It is your sanya. It's not different individuals' issue. It is because we are unenlightened. Akusalas are always coming up. Even we don't want akusalas to come, but akusalas are coming. Right? It's like hunger, right? We don't want to be hungry, but hunger is coming out because we don't know how to maintain the body sometimes, right? So, but when it comes to a Samma Sambuddha, it is said that they are not even making an akusala, even in secret. Now, what is my suggestion here is that why don't we try out this quality? Why can't we stop akusalas that are coming to us secretly? Every time if there is a preparation for an akusala to come in secret, we are going to think, okay, Buddha is like that. I also try to practice this, want to become, at least in my capacity. What a good way to, overcome our hidden akusalas. That's why rather we keep all these qualities to the Buddha and then thinking he is a great person. We also want to learn certain things from his life, whether we can at least practice time to time. We might not be able to be perfect like the Buddha, but at least we know this is the perfect level. One day, if I can go to this level as a normal human. So Arahant basically means that you are someone who has eradicated overcome all the akusalas. But when it comes to the Buddha, it shows some other qualities, such as he has broken the spokes of the sansaric wheel. At the same time, he does not make any akusala even in secret. Any questions about this before we go to the next one? This first quality. Does Bodhisattva also go through Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahant? We don't see that. If they go to become a Sotapanna, they must become an Arahant within 7 lifetimes. So they cannot fulfill their paramitas. What does it mean? That means there are other ways to become enlightened. We always bombarded with Sakadagami, Sotapanna, Anagami, Arahant. We don't think there is an alternative way to become enlightened. That is to become a Bodhisattva. Bodhisattvas don't become Sotapannas at the rest, because through their paramitas in one life, one day, they are going to become Samma Sambuddhas. Even Pacceka Buddhas don't. Right? Any other questions about the first quality, Arahant? Okay, not so far. So we'll go to the next great quality. The next great quality is Samma Sambuddha. Samma means fully, complete. Sambuddha means full enlightenment. The Buddha was fully awake because he discovered the true way of the Four Noble Truths. He rediscovered the Dhamma, rediscovered the reality of true nature of things, the universal laws on his own without a teacher to guide him. So he becomes Samma Sambuddha because he had no exact, precise teacher to teach him the way to become a Samma Sambuddha. Can I know the teachers who he had after he left the palace? What are their names?
Alara Kama.
Alara Kala.
Alara Kama.
Uddaka Ramaputta.
Uddaka Ramaputta. Then are there only 2 teachers he only studied under? Alara Kalam. Then Uddaka Ramaputta. Then now he left the palace, right? Then he went to search the truth. King Satyagavi is King Kusalagavi. But where is the truth? Where is the wholesome nature? Then he found out the first teacher, Alara Kalam. Under Alara Kalam, he practiced jhanas. He came to a higher level of the jhanas. Then it is said that he came to the 7 jhana. Then Alara Kalam teacher told him, don't need to leave me, our school. We can share our teachings. We can share our students. So you also teach, I also teach. You can become a co-teacher. The Buddha, ascetic Siddhartha said, no, that is not my purpose. Sometimes you have to leave the places to become successful. So ascetic Siddhartha, if he did not say, no, I will share with you, I have a lot of respect for you, then he would have never become the Buddha. He said, teacher, thank you for that, but I think I have to leave and look for something else, maybe some higher places. Okay. Then he found out another teacher, as you said, Uddaka Ramaputta. Then under him, he approached the jhana number 8. 8 jhana, Rupavachara jhana. The teacher also said the same thing. You don't have to go anywhere now. I think you are experienced student, so we can share the teaching load over here. Then ascetic Siddhartha said, no, I want to leave. I want to leave not because I want to disrespect you, but I think there's something else that I want to find out. But at that point, he attained the 8 jhana, Neva Sanjana Sanjana. Then let me ask you, did he have another teacher after that? Uttakaraputta. 5 ascetics. Who are they? You have no excuse because we learn about them a lot, many weeks, many months over the course of 2023, 2024, a little bit. What are their names?
Kondana,
Kondana, Wappa,
Kondanya, Asaji, Mahanama,
Hmm.
Badia,
Kondanya, Wappa, Mahanama, Bhattiya, Assaji. 5 ascetics. So these were already kind of monks. Those teachers, they were ascetics. They were kind of monks even before the Buddha, ascetic Siddhartha. But they knew that this person would become the Buddha. And they told them, the easiest way to become the Buddha is to give a lot of pain to the body. You can't eat all the time. You cannot take a shower. Then you cannot take food from the pregnant woman. You cannot take food from other people. Don't go for Pindapata. You have to stay nearby a tree. Then you have to be naked and you have to set, you have to make fires and then try to, expose to that extreme fire with the hot sun. They told a lot of things. So he had to spend he was able to be perceived by these people, persuaded by these 5, and he practiced these extreme practices for many years. It is said that in many suttas, when ascetic Siddhartha, he himself explains in many suttas, like Arya Pariyasana Sutta, Ambatta Sutta, Chula Sakludai Sutta, and many other suttas, he says, Buddha says that when I touch my tummy, when I want to touch my tummy, I almost touch my back. I found out this is something weird. I don't think I can find out enlightenment, like being this painful. Then he's talking a lot of things, and I felt I was touching my body. I felt like close to a couple of, in today's metrics, couple of centimeters. There was a lot of dirt, There are a lot of dirt that have accumulated in my skin because I haven't taken a shower for many years. Just imagine if you don't take a shower for a week, what's happening to you? Right? You will dislike you. Right? You don't have to dislike other people. You will dislike yourself. But he did not take showers for many years. Then he says, I, at a certain point, understood this will never, giving pain to the body will never let me become enlightened. And he says in another sutta, pain cannot give me enlightenment. Only by a certain understanding, certain application of physical, mental happiness only, I can become the Sammas. No, it's an old narrative. In our ancestors' time, these ancestors, they talk about, you guys have to be hardworking, otherwise you will never make a lot of money. You tell this to today's young people, they will say they don't want to work hard. We want to work smart. Leave them out. They might cut corners. They might say we are smart working. But working hard and making a lot of money is not a very valid theory. Not going to be that much valid in today's world. Because money is not always coming just because you are hard working. It can come. In the same way, enlightenment will not come to you just because you try so hard on your practice. Enlightenment is a place where you are going to find out, in the Buddha's perspective, with some sort of happiness, right? You see, when Sujata was respecting a certain deva, and then she's sending a maid to the tree, and then that maid told Sujata, the Rukha deva, the deva in the tree today has come out and he's there, right? And she was happily bringing some milk rice, and offered to him. And then when the prince, ascetic Siddhartha, started eating food, then he understood that now I can even brainstorm myself, think about what is life, what is craving, what is upadana, what is dukkha. So if we don't have enough food, if we are starving, we cannot even For us, when you are not eating properly, don't think about enlightenment. Can you think about your household? You might be shouting at other people in the household. You might be arguing each other in the household. Why? It is not their problem, it is your problem. You have not taken food, enough food, proper food, right? So I think it's very important to have some self-care. This is the same thing happened to Asati Siddhartha. Anyways, now he had no teacher to find out what happened at the end. He himself found out. I think I'm going to leave out these 5 Asatis. I think enlightenment is not in their, ideology. I have to find myself. Then he found out. Is neither the self-mortification nor the what they call overindulgence. No atta yoga, no kamasukallikana. There is a path that is lying between these two. There is where I have to follow Noble Eightfold Path. There I became the Sammasam. So he had no teacher. But what is important here is that it is said that he rediscovered Samma Sambuddha. What does it mean, rediscover? There is a sutta in Anguttara Nikaya. Its name is Nagara Sutta. I have to find out the sutta. Nagara Sutta. Yeah, in this Nagara Sutta, you can look it up on Google later. In this Nagara Sutta, Buddha says, I found out the first noble truth, second noble truth, third noble truth, fourth noble truth. Just as some other people are to find a buried city. Right? Let's say there's a buried city. Now, archaeologists and those people are going there and they are finding out there was like what is happening in your country sometimes. There are some archaeologists going and finding some remains up north, right? There are Buddhist remains, in the Siamese kingdom and as such. So the Buddha says that this is not a brand new teaching. Previous Buddhas have already told this. What I did was I refounded, rediscovered. The sutta is Nagara Sutta. But even he rediscovered, he had no teacher to rediscover. So he is Samma Sambuddha. Any questions about this too? Samma Sambuddha. I'm asking to make your translation about what is Arahant, what is Samma Sambuddha. Maybe I'm going to ask you at the end. Probably. What is Arahant, what is Samma Sambuddha? Samma Sambuddha means the Buddha is fully enlightened without the support of any teacher. Arahant means he is Arahant because he completely eradicated Lobha dosa moha, raga dosa moha. At the same time, in particular, he does not make akusala even in secret. All right, then we are going to the third quality. I think we had to discuss that a little bit more. Okay, this one. Vijja Charana Sampan. Okay. Vijja Charana Sampan. Let me ask you, what is Vijja? What is Charana? Sampanna means endowed with. Vijja means knowledges. Buddha had 8 knowledges. Eight main knowledges. Charana means he had 15 practices. Then what is Vijja Charana? How is he become Vijja Charana? Because he has 8 specific unique knowledges and then he has 15 practices. In other words, what does it mean? Knowledge and practice, they both make someone a beautiful spiritual being. In Buddhist practice, we need both. We need the knowledge, also we need the practices. Right? We need the both aspects, knowledge and practices. Let's see what they are. the 8 knowledges. You can see them over here. Pubbe Nivasa Anusati Jnana, number 1. Number 2 is Dibba Chakku Jnana. Number 3 is Asavakya Jnana. Number 4, Vipassana Jnana. Number 5, Manomaya Iddhi Jnana. Number 6, Iddhivida Jnana. Number 7, Dibba Sota Jnana. Number 8, Cheto Pariyaya. Let's understand what these are. Number 1, Pubbe Nivasanusati Jnana. Knowledge of past existences. By this knowledge, the Buddha can see the past existences of himself and other beings. So Buddha can tell someone that this was your past life, right? Are there any instances where Buddha was talking like that? Yes, there are numerous occasions. Even all the Jataka stories are like that, right? He can tell anybody's past life. But in today's world, there are people who are going to certain places. They want to know what was their past life. And there are people who can, who they say they can tell about your past life by reading their palm history. Right? We never know. But anyways, he said that the Buddha has this first knowledge, which helps him to tell you about your past life. Not even one past life. Normally, these palmistry people, these astrologers only can say one life. They can say only one past life, but Buddha can say millions, billions of life back, how you were and how things happened to you. Pubbe Nivasanusati Jnana. So it's a knowledge. Then second is Dibba Chakku Jnana, knowledge of the Deva eye. By this knowledge, the Buddha can see things at faraway places, things concealed and things too subtle for the ordinary human eyes to see. Dibba Chakku. That means now we have a naked eye, right? The capacity for our eyes to see some things are disturbed, right? How our eyes are disturbed depending on the place where we are. But nowadays, somebody might argue, no, I have a CCTV camera, that is mounted onto my laptop. I have internet, so what is happening on the other part of the world, I can see through my laptop. Now, for those people who might think that Dibba Chakku is a funny statement, see, now we can see things, right? Even through internet. Now they are trying to make some habitats in the, in the moon, right? Nowadays, they are trying to help out people who want to rent an apartment in the moon, probably in another 30, 40 years. Right? So in this way, now Buddha is talking about a universe. So he can see anything that is happening in the whole universe if he was to live at this point. Dibba Chakku. Second knowledge. Third knowledge, Asavakya Jnana. Asavakya Jnana means the basic jnana when someone attains into Nibbana, knowledge of the extinction of fermentations. That means Arahatta Pala Jnana. Another synonym is Arahatta Pala Jnana. It means every Arahant also has this. When they attain Nibbana, they are getting this Arahatta Jnana. That means Asavakya, all the asavas, all the fermentations, influxes are eradicated. Because of that, they are having that particular knowledge. The fourth one is Vipassana Jnana. Insight knowledge, understanding the impermanence, miserable misery, woefulness, and unsubstantiality of all conditioned mental. These are a little bit deep words. Let me make it simple to you. Now, Vipassana Jnana means that Buddha had this particular knowledge whereby he has a clear insight into the elements, aggregates, and sense media, Dhatu, Khanda, Ayatana. Now, normally, if I make it very simple to the layman language, how are we normally looking at things in our life? Are we seeing things as they are, Or are we seeing things as we are? Let's say you are going to a new restaurant. In your layman's knowledge, you're trying to change the places and feel some happiness. This is not that place, a new place. We should all go and enjoy this place. Then you are always subjectively picking up the new experience. Oh yeah, looks good compared to something I already know. Always subjective, right? And there are pros and cons here, but mostly vipassana will not come to you. In order for you to have insight, then you must give some objectivity into the thing. Even if you look at a certain flower vase, the initial observation is a subjective connection to another flower vase you saw. Right? So in Buddhism, especially when you are developing your insight as much as you can, then you are more into the objective point of view. That means you are going to see the innate value of that particular thing. Say, for instance, you may have had a bad experience with someone in your life. Okay. Maybe a mate, maybe someone in your workplace. So ever since that bad experience, how are you normally looking at other people? Normally, naturally, we are trying to think that everybody else like that will become the same evil person to us. Because when something bad happens, when something good happens, we are going to stick to that subjective experience. Then vipassana is not going to come out. So when it comes to the Buddha here, even some arahants, they are able to enter into the objectivity of all the three things. Kanda, Dhatu, Ayatana. Kanda means 5 aggregates. They are looking at 5 aggregates as they are, not as we are. How are we looking at them? No. My rupa is different than your rupa, right? My vedana is a very good vedana. You can't feel life. You are a senseless being here. So people are complaining about other people. But my feelings are better than your feeling. You're not mature enough. People are trying to separate them, with regard to the Vedana Kanda. Sanya, you have not well read. You are such a, ignorant being. You are trying to elevate yourself and putting somebody down. Other side. Sanya. Sankara, I have done a lot of good karma than you, right? I meditate, I go to Sutta class, I learn, I go to Vihara, and all that. I don't need that. I'm a good person. So that means when it comes to the Panchakanda also, we are not able to enter into their objective nature. Right? So we are supposed to look at them from an objective one. Then what about Dhatu, elements? This is a further classification of the Panchakanda. A lot of people only know Panchakanda, but Panchakanda can be further analyzed into Ayatana, 12 places. And the 12 Ayatanas can be further classified, analyzed into 18 other minor parts, elements. So the Buddha and other Arahants, they can enter into the objectivity of these 5 aggregates, 12 sense bases, and 18 sense media. We call them sense media. That means elements. All right. So this is called vipassana. Vipassana jnana. And then we are going to discuss about another jnana. We call it manomaya itti jnana. Okay. Manomaya itti jnana, by psychic power of the mind. Power to assume various forms through mastery of mind. I think a little bit difficult to understand this part. Let me make it very simple. The Buddha can project some mind-made images. He can project. Can you give me an example? What happened to Matta Kundali? Now, has Matta Kundali seen the Buddha before? Did he see the Buddha before? He doesn't know who the Buddha is. Sopaka. Sopaka's stepfather was very mad at him, so he brought to the cemetery, tied him to a burning dead body. In many places, including those two, especially Matta Kundali's story, what we see is that Buddha saw Matta Kundali is going to die now. So he sent a certain mind image to him for him to think about the Buddha. He has not seen the Buddha. So that mind image was sent to his mind so he could see the Buddha and he passed away. So Buddha can send mind images to other people so that they can project about the Buddha. We call it Manomaya Iddhi Jnana is one of the knowledges of the Buddha. Then Iddhi Vida Jnana, psychic power. Psychic power means they can go through, the Buddha can go through, and then, there are a lot of levitation powers. But Buddha did not use psychic, what you call levitation power a lot. Remember one example, Buddha and some other monks, they wanted to cross a river. And then there were two Hindu yogis. They were waiting for the person to cross to the other side. And they were not happy about the ferryman. And then what they did was that they used the levitation, they went to the other side. It is said, the story. Then other monks also asked the Buddha, why don't you do that? Because you are more powerful. Why are we waiting for the person to come here again? He has gone far away already. Then Buddha said, no, we are going to stay here. We will wait for him. And then we will get in his yacht or whatever. We will go to the other side. Then when the unenlightened monks were pushing him a lot, Buddha said, okay, wait, I'll tell you. When the person from the other side came, very person, then he asked, how much did you charge for those yogis to cross to the other side? Then I think he said 5 or 10 kahapan. At that time, the kahapan, the gold currency. Then the Buddha said, the price of the levitation which the yogis did is 5 kahapans. I am not going to use my levitation for these petty things, tiny small things. I'm going to keep that to myself. So he does not want to do it, but he has the power to do that. That is called Iddhivita. The last two, Dibba Sota, Chetoparya. Dibba Sota means just as he can see anything in the universe, like in the Dibba Chakku, he can also hear anything from any other place. Dibba Sota. Sota means hear. He has a divine ear. This is very true even with regard to our sense faculties. Hearing is the most powerful one, right? Let's say you are in a small room, but you can hear things from afar. Right? So the same way, Buddha had this power, he can hear anything from afar. This is the seventh knowledge. Last one, Chetoparya. This means telepathy. Okay, telepathy. Telepathy means Buddha can read our minds. Are we going to be scared if somebody here who can read our mind? Are we? We will be instantly very scared. Now you can read what I think. This is a certain knowledge even some Hindu ascetics have. Even in the Himalayas, they say even nowadays. They can read the minds because it's a benefit of samatha meditation actually. What we call Chetoparya. Yeah, but Buddha had it in a different higher way. Right? There are 8 knowledges. Any question about these 8 knowledges before we go to the 15 practices?
Bhante, does these 8 knowledges apply to us?
Some of them apply when we practice, when we have 5 knowledges as a result of samatha meditation. Very few. But others are very unique to the Buddha.
Yeah, because like ability to go through the wall and then you can hear from afar. What has it to do with our spiritual practice or spiritual progress? What is the connection? I don't see the
No, no, no.
connection.
It is said you can do that, but you don't do it.
Yeah.
You don't do it because it has the power. Because when the mind is elevated, you can do those things, those mind tricks. But uh, persons are not going to do it. People are not going to do that actually, especially arahants.
So, one way of looking at the qualities of the Buddha is we want to imitate or learn from the qualities of the Buddha or inspire
If
us,
if we can, like I said earlier,
right?
that's a
So
very
can
good thing.
we, like Vicha Charana Sampano, can we translate it at a more lay terms like, being theory and practice, the Dharma, and then we got to put into practice the Dharma. That is a very layman perspective. Can we understand in this way or not?
Yeah. That's what I said earlier. Knowledge and practice. Now,
Yeah.
even a normal devotee who is trying to learn, who is having a practice from a vihara, he or she has to understand while I learn Dhamma, I also need to practice it. So on one side, he or she is learning, on the other side, she or he has to practice. If she's not doing the both at the same time, then he's not going to succeed in the Dhamma. This is the basic way to understand this Vijjacharana Samman. But Buddha's knowledge and practice, it
Different.
is far beyond than these
Yeah.
two. But the common idea is that thing, theory and practice, so knowledge and practice. Okay, and then there's a question here. Does Arahant has some of the jnanas they have, not all, only some? Okay, let's go to the 15 practices because of the timing. I'm going to sort of summarize. The first one is Buddha had enormous amount of sila sangha. His sila, the practice of his sila is the superb actually. Can't even see any other person. And then indriyesu buddhadvarata. That means his sense faculties are always super guarded. Right? There's no point of being spoiled. Sense faculty. They are super highly watched all the time. And the third one is Bojane Mattanyuta, knowing the proper level of food that he consumes. I think it's a very interesting one. He says that in our spiritual life, the amount of food we are eating matters to us a lot. Unfortunately, a lot of people are arguing what food to eat. This is a funny discussion when they talk about, when they talk about Buddhism, they are looking for what did the Buddha say, what to eat. What to eat doesn't matter. Because from every culture, they eat in different food. If you go to Baffin Bay in Arctic, northern Canada, they can't eat vegetables because vegetables are not grown in that part of the world. They have fish and all that. Then they will never become Buddhist. But if you could, you are staying away from these things. Then if you go to another part of the world, because food are not always eaten depending on the religious perspective, right? Because of the geography and all that. So I think a very good discussion about the food will be how much food are we going to consume, not that what food we're going to eat. That's a good one. Because we all have our ethical parameters when it comes to what food we're going to eat. But more importantly, Buddha said, I'm concerned about how much food we eat. I think the biggest issue in today's world is eating too much. And I think WHO, they predicts that in another 20, 30 years, the biggest issue, health issue that we are facing is not cardiovascular issue, not diabetes, not blood pressure. It is obesity. It's happening now. You can have access to a lot of food compared to 15, 20 years ago. You go everywhere. Now food is very instant. And you have snacks, right? A lot of food are available. So that's why the Buddha said, please limit your intake of the food. That's very important. So that you can become a better person physically, mentally, emotionally, you can practice Dhamma more. Right?
8 precepts.
Bhojanima. Yes. Yes, Bhojanima. Number 3. Number 4 is Jagariyanu Yoga. This one, you don't have to be misunderstood. This is only for a Buddha. It is said that the Samma Sambuddhas don't sleep long because they are becoming Samma Sambuddhas for a certain purpose. So they sometimes sleep a very short time. Some people say 2 hours, but they have a very short time of sleep because they have to approach the Deva non-humans. Samma Sambuddha has to teach them too. So Jagaryana Yoga is a particular quality of the practice of the Buddha. Then Saddha. Saddha means unwavering trust about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So they have enormous amount of Saddha, Samasa. Then Sati, right mindfulness. Then Hiri means sense of shame to do akusala. That means when you have Hiri, you are not going to do any akusala because you are very shameful about akusala activities. And then Ottappa means you have a fear to do akusala. Why? If I do any akusala, I have to go through results of akusala anywhere in my sansaric life. Right? So akusalas are coming after us, so we understand that. So Hiri Ottappa. Then Bahu Satcha, wide learning. I think this is very important. There are people who learn Dhamma but only specific marginalized areas of the Dhamma. And then they try to explain. Like for example, someone is going to learn Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, like you. Right? Then you are very happy at the end of the Sutta. Why you are happy? Tell me why you are happy. Now at the end of the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, you are so happy. Why? You are saying, Anya Konnanya became a Sotama. Who is that? The first person in the group of 5 ascetics became a Sotama. And the Sutta is finished. Now you think you know the Sutta. Right? Now you think you know the Sutta. Actually, what may have happened really in this Sutta, at the end of this Sutta, in this real story? Was it only Anya Konnanya? No, in the Vinaya Pitaka, the first Pitaka, Mahavagga, it says, not even Anya Konnanya, subsequent to him, following to him, Vappa Badhya Mahanama Saji also became Sotapan. It is not in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Now, without reading this Vinaya Pitaka story, you think you know everything. No wide learning. And you are happily sharing with others. You know what happened at the end of Dhammacakka Sutta? Only Anya Konnanya became Sotapan. Your learning is not wide. That's why I'm saying we have to read widely. If you cannot read widely, at least associate a teacher who has a wide reading. Then you know that wideness. Otherwise, you read only one small sutta, another sutta, you don't know how to connect the dots. Right? So, wide learning is important. In English, they say, little learning, little knowledge is very dangerous, isn't it? That's very dangerous. So, in the same way, in terms of Dhamma, we should have a wide learning. Bahu Satcha, number 1. Then Viriya, diligence. Panya, we should say wisdom here. Wisdom. Then first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. Altogether, how many practices are there which the Buddha has? Under Vichacharana, 50. And here, 18 knowledges. All right. So Buddha has 8 knowledges, specific knowledges, unique knowledges, and he has 15 practices. Any questions about this too? This third great quality, Vichya means knowledges, Charana means 15 knowledges, practices. Now, when you chant Itipiso Bhagava Arahant, then everything that we discuss about Arahant should come to your mind. Then Sambuddho, Buddha had no teacher, he found his own way. Then Vijja Charana Sampanno, he had 8 knowledges and 15. They have to come to your mind. Otherwise, you are not going to get his support. That is what we are talking here. Yes, Alia, you have a question?
Yes, Bhante, it says just now in the beginning, Bhante said that under Alara Kalama and then another teacher that the Buddha already reached to 8 jhana. But how come in here but the Buddha only practiced to the 5th jhana?
No. These 15 practices should not be considered as his whole practice. What you call, these are some practices he did time to time in his life. These do not reflect a full review of his practices. And normally he has these practices. Actually, Buddha is talking that first 4 jhanas are slightly important in terms of going to the samadhi. Someone might not need the rest of the 4 jhanas, but there are times we learn that 8 jhanas were important at different contexts. But what we need to understand is that this list should not be reckoned or considered to be Buddha's full practice. This is a certain fractional aspect of his practice. So he has other practices too.
Thank you, Bhante.
Can I ask questions?
Yeah.
What happened is the 14 types of wisdom of Buddha. There is one area, knowledge of twin miracle of the individual. I'm curious about that.
14 types of
Wisdom, the types of wisdom of the Buddha in the chanting book we have. And normally the knowledge of the suffering, knowledge of origin, suffering. And there is one point there, Yamaka Patihariye Nanam. It means the Buddha has a knowledge of the twin miracle of the individual. It's just wondering what is twin miracle. I'm just thinking.
Okay, that is a different context. It's not under the 15 charanas.
No.
Yeah, it's
No.
a different teaching.
Knowledge.
Now, before I answer this question, let me give you some background in a very
Yeah.
short way. In many places, there are other teachers, followers of the teachers who came to the Buddha, asking the Buddha, Bhante, are you Sabbanya? Are you omniscient? Do you know everything? Buddha denied outright, I'm not omniscient. Why don't you call you are omniscient? All the other teachers are saying, Nigantanatha Buddha says he is himself omniscient. Purna Kassapa, Makkali Gosal, and all these people. The Buddha says, I am not omniscient. Now, if you ask from many places, many textbooks, they are saying Buddha is omniscient.
Yes.
Who said Buddha is omniscient? Buddha never said. Patisambhida Maggapali, a book in the Kuddaka Nikaya. This book was prepared by senior monks. In this book, senior monks say Buddha is omniscient. But when the Buddha was asked by the other teachers, monks, are you the omniscient one? No, I'm not the omniscient. Right? So this Yamaka Patihari, we call it, is a miracle, twin miracle.
What does it mean?
It was a part of that list, but it is not a practice. He is not normally doing that. What is Yamaka Patihari? Yamaka Patihari means, it is said that he can emit some amount of fire from one skin hair and some amount of water in other skin hair, and making the other people very perplexed about this particular being. He only uses this particular twin miracle in times of people who he cannot teach. Now, when he went to his home city, what you call Kapilavattu, people in the Kapilavattu did not welcome him. Especially they said, you are a young person, we don't believe you. So Buddha thought there would be no purpose in giving them a Dhamma talk. So he thought, now it is better for me to go to the sky and then emit fire and water. it is said that he does it through some powers of jhanas, his own jhanas. So he did that only to curb, maybe to tame people who cannot be tamed by giving a dhamma. So it is not connected to this because these are not miraculous, mysterious practices. These are very human practices we see in the charana, 15 charanas. That one is a very, what do you call very significant, I would say, not a very general practice which the Buddha does to many people.
Knowledge of psychic power, right?
It is not a knowledge, it is a miracle, twin miracle.
Oh,
People call it Yamaka Patihari.
okay.
It's more likely a miracle.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante.
Buddha always say, I am not a miraculous person. I'm a normal human being. But out of the other normal human beings, I'm a very special human being. His example is a lotus. Lotus. Can you think about the lotus and the Buddha's life? Where is the lotus coming from? Lotus is coming out of the mud. So he says, I was born just like other human beings in the mud. But when the lotus is bloom, the lotus does not touch the water, isn't it? When it is blue, it does not touch the water. In the same way, though I was coming out of the mud, similar to human beings, but I become a special human being. So Yamaka Patihari was not connected to this, what you call 15 chapters. Okay, I think the last quality, the fourth quality should be explained before we finish. It is called Sugata. Well gone. Sugata means well gone. How do we understand this quality? Vijja Charana Sampanno Sugato. Gato means he has two types of walking. One is his physical walk. The other journey is his sansaric journey to become the Samma Sambuddha. Both are very beautiful. It is said that the Samma Sambuddha, on his walking forward, he cannot look back unless he turn around. Unless he fully turn around. Otherwise, he cannot look back. Now, what do we sometimes do when we walk? Sometimes you want to check whether other people are following you, chasing or following you. You are going to look back. But it is said that Samma Sambuddhas cannot do. It is said that it is just as an elephant. Elephants cannot do the same thing. They cannot turn back very fast. So they have to turn the whole body to the other side to see the back. So Buddha is showing the elephant's quality at that point. Then his sansaric journey to become the Samma Sambuddha also very well gone. Practicing 30 paramitas and all that, he has been able to come to that. So that is why he is called Sugata. Okay, so Arahant Samma Sambuddha, Vijja Charana Sampanna Sugata. These are the qualities we discussed today. So we can discuss the rest of the qualities another day. Any questions so far?
Bhante, the white learning, why is it not put under knowledge and put under conduct?
Knowledge is something you have attained already, achieved already.
Okay.
But before you get the knowledge, you have to master it, practice it.
Okay.
Then as a result of that mastering of certain subjects, you will get the knowledge. I think some of the knowledges that you see here out of these 10, you will get to those points as a successful practice of these 50. So that means it is more to the practice of understanding the practical level of the knowledge.
So Bhante, when we study the Sutta, is it knowledge or practice?
It has to be the both. Initially, it is a knowledge, but it has to go to the practical level.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, it has to go to the practical level. How to do it? It depends on how you're going to practice it. Because now we are practicing Buddhism. not from the Indian conditions, right?
Yeah.
We are practicing Buddhism from the 21st century conditions.
From Zoom.
Now on Zoom. Now say for instance, you go back 20, 30 years ago, we didn't want to have an air conditioner to stay in a house. Why is it? There were a lot of trees outside. But nowadays, these trees are cut down and then more developments are coming. So the weather is become dry and all air conditioners are giving a lot of dryness outside. Then we cannot avoid the condition. Now we also need an air conditioner to stay. At that time, it was not a condition, but now it has become a condition. So that means when you practice Dhamma, you have to understand the conditions. That is how you're going to bring knowledge as a practice.
Thank you, Bhante.
All right, let me ask you, what is Arahant? What is Arahant? What is Samma Sambuddha? What is Vijjacharana Sampanna? What is Sugato? In very short, because you can't think about all these things when something's happening to you, right? Now you are very fearful, so you can't think a lot. So things should be very quick. What is Arahant? It is because
he has completely eradicated,
eradicated all
eradicated
akusala.
Salas, and he
even in
does not.
secret.
I think better two things to be taken at that point. He has completely eradicated akusalas. At the same time, he does not make akusala even in a secret.
Yes.
I think that part is very important to us also. Samma Sambuddha. What is Samma Sambuddha?
Fully self-enlightened without a teacher.
Okay. Finding the noble truths and following the noble eightfold path and achieving the Buddhahood without any teaching. Very easy. Then, Vijjacharana Sampanna.
Practice knowledge. Knowledge. He has a knowledge. Yes,
He has 8 knowledges,
Knowledges and 15
practices.
practices.
So every time when you chant Vijjacharana Sampanno, he had 8 knowledges and 15 practices. Sugato,
Well gone.
his journey to become the Samma Sambuddha is a well gone journey. We understand through his 30 paramitas. At the same time, his physical walking is also very beautiful and well gone. This is called Sugato. All right, any other question? We'll take 1 more minute. If not, we can transfer the good karmas today. Till you come up with a question, I'm going to show you the text again. So we have done this part today. Sugato. So we had to do Lokavidu, Anuttaro Pusadam Santi, Sattadaya Musa, and Bhagavat. 5 more.
About well gone. Again, can I have clarity on well gone?
Sugato. Okay, Sugato, the great quality of the Buddha.
Yeah, that's right. I just wonder, at those days I was thinking is well gone past? Is it well gone, there's no U-turn, he walked forward? Is that so? I mean, it's different. It's not right. Today I attend the class is to have a clarity. So
Sugato, yeah, so the Samma Sambuddha is considered having this Sugato quality for his beautiful journeying into becoming a Samma Sambuddha. That means we're looking at his 30 paramitas. There are 30 perfections, 30 perfections he practiced. Now there are 10 paramitas normally by names: Dana, Sila, Nekkhamma, then Kanti, Satcha, Virya, then Metta, Upekka, and all that. So he had practiced all these paramitas in 3 ways. Every paramita was practiced in 3 ways. Parami, Upaparami, Paramata Parami. So you do your maths, that means you multiply 10 by 3, you get 30. So Bodhisattvas ultimately became the Sammasambuddha. Bodhisattvas practice paramitas in 3 ways, which making up to 30 paramitas. This journey is such a beautiful, persevering journey. We are looking at how he achieved, how he journeyed in onto the Buddhahood. So that journey, well gone. One aspect. Second aspect is his physical walk. His physical walk as the Buddha. The way how he walked, we understand that his walk is extremely wonderful, beautiful, serene, calm. And then we have to learn how he approached, others. Right? So his physical walk is very beautiful. So these are the 2 things we understand from the Sugata, the
Thank
great
you.
quality of Sugata.
Thank you.
Yes, bodhisattvas cannot make U-turns like lay people, Fine. They must practice as they are supposed to practice. Yes,
Thank you, Bhante.
yes.
Thank you.
I think lay people, they can do U-turn. That's why they choose to become arahants. That's why my question today, why they don't think about to become a Pacceka Buddha? Why they don't want to become a Sammasambuddha? Who told you not to do as such? That means you are doing a U-turn, you are not going to the highway, you are exiting from the highway, even before the highway. Don't do that. You can even think about becoming a Pacceka Buddha, Sammasam. Embrace this undefined spirituality. I think it is because books like Buddha Vansa, Kuddaka Nikaya, it's a book called Buddha Vansa. This book is the book where the prerequisites of becoming a Buddha is mentioned by the senior. There it says you must become a man, you can't become a woman to become the Sammasambuddha. There are good things I appreciate. But the thing is that we should not confine the ability of anybody to become an enlightened person, whatever the way they want to choose in their life. So there are these 3 choices anybody can make. So you can become an arahant, that is the shortest way possible, and Pacceka Buddha and Sammasambuddha. One very good thing in making you to become a bodhisattva is that you will become more altruistic. You will help other people become enlightened. This is the motto of a bodhisattva. When
Bhante,
you only choose the arahanthood, you don't mind about other people. Don't even call me. I meditate now. Let me practice my meditation. Let me practice my Dhamma. That kind of thing will be gone. When you think about, I want to become a bodhisattva. But let's say you want to become a bodhisattva, it doesn't mean if you are able to become an arahant, it won't happen. It will happen too. Yes, Ken.
Bhante, I think you said that you mentioned about for us we U-turn, right? We U-turn instead of going to be like enlightened. I think chances of
You have been made to make the U-turn. I think not that you want to do the U-turn. You have been made to do the U-turn because of the certain teachings. Yes.
my thinking is that chances of Bhante monks going is better than us lay people.
I don't think so. That is what you see on the surface value. On the surface level, yes, you are right. But this is a journey inside, not wearing the robes and things. Wearing the robe is an option. You think you can speed up. But let me tell you, there were devotees who became anagami as a layperson, who taught Dhamma to monks at the Buddha's time. So it depends. So you cannot think that,
Bhante.
No, I mean, everybody's mental, level, the potential is very different. Just because you are a layperson, it does not prevent you to make that choice. So with one small example, I'm going to wrap this up. It's like an exam. In an exam, if you think you want to achieve only a C plus, your only intention is to only take a scorer, letter grade C plus, you will mostly end up way before the C plus. Let's say you want to hit B plus is your plan, and then you are going to end up way before the B plus, because B plus was your ultimate. But there is someone who does not make a choice, who just want to do the best. He sits for the exam, does well. Finally, he will be ended up in the letter grade that he did not even opt out to become. Maybe a plus, maybe you know. So in the same way, don't make choices. Enlightenment is your purpose. That enlightenment can happen in many ways. All right. So yeah.
To renounce when we become some Sambuddhas. Fully enlightened, we have to renounce to be a monk or something.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to renounce, because Bodhisattva is a layperson. Have you seen Bodhisattvas are wearing robes? In the Jataka stories, no, they are lay people.
Oh.
They are lay people.
So lay person has the shortcut lah.
No, I think the idea that layperson has few opportunities and monk has more opportunities is something you can see on the surface value, but it is not the truth.
Not the truth.
Yeah, but don't argue with the monk about it.
Yeah, but there are eight
Okay.
conditions.
Okay, I think
to
we
be
have
a
more
Sammasambuddha.
time. Yes, I think we will discuss more in our next class about this. All
Thank
right.
you.
So may all the good karmas we've been making today be transferred to all the departed ones. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi jnati nang hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idammi jnati nang hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idammi jnati nang hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. At the same time, may Deva Naga Mahipita also share all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, and prosperity, safety. Finally, may Deva Naga Mahipita also attain the supreme bliss of Sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatac ammehi sambhatang punya sampudang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatac ammehi sambhatang punya sampudang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatac ammehi sambhatang punya sampudang sabbe sattha anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhang Turukasasanam Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhang Turesanam Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhang Tumang Paranti Chirang Rakkhang Tumang Sadanti. In this samsaric journey, may we be able to be in the company of Kalyana mentors who can guide us, who can be the light all the time, who can maintain, sustain, deepen our Dhamma practice. Thinking thus, we're going to make the wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we begin today by learning 4 of the Buddha's great qualities be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa nichang vaddha pacha ino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarokya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samikshatu sadhu. That's the end of our Sutta discussion. We are 15 minutes time behind. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you very much,
Bhante,
Bhante.
everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you all next week.
Good night, Bhante.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Yes.
Bye.